It's nice to see you and hear you back on air after a bit of a health scare a while ago. You feeling okay?
Oh, mainly, physically I'm a bit mucked up, but you just sort of get on with it. It's over 3 years now since I had a stroke, and it's actually days like this when you see what's happening in the support of a good cause like breast cancer nurses, that it makes you think perhaps stroke victims should be better recognised, because 1 in 6 Australians get strokes, which I think is a more prevalent incidence of misfortune than almost any other condition. So, maybe someone needs to have greater awareness of what's going on in terms of that.
Has it slowed you down in your commentary?
No. In fact, it's quickened me up. You develop a sense of your mortality when you have something like this. So I'm probably a bit looser as a result.
Well, that's good. Well, actually, you were a bit loose. I was listening to you bagging out basketball the other day.
Ah, yes, it's one of my pets. That was a bit of a rant, I have to say. I mean, it's great that people play sport, whatever the sport may be, but I had this thing about it from time at school where I used to think parents just got the kids into basketball so they could spend an hour with them on a Saturday and then go and do what they wanted to do.
Rather than cricket, 6 hours
6 or 7 hours, yes. Yeah. My father always came to watch me play, and I'm the same with my youngest son when he was playing. So, I just think it's outdoors in this country. I know there's issues with the sun and the rest of it, but no. It was a bit of a rant, yeah.
In this new era where you can get the scores on your phone anywhere, is cricket on the radio still important?
Oh, I think it's very important. It provides a link for people to something that's very much part of the Australian culture. And not everyone's got the time to be able to sit down and watch it all day. People are on tractors, they're across the Nullarbor, and they're in so many different places where audio is important, and not necessarily these days in Australia, because we've got BBC taking our coverage. It's going to New Zealand in this series, so there are people all over the world who could not see the pictures anyway, and radio is a unique medium. It has a certain intimacy, can be an illusion sometimes if commentators get a bit creative, I suppose. But, it's a very powerful medium, whether it's on your radio or your computer or your phone or whatever it's on. So I think it has more relevance now than it ever had.
What's your secret for painting pictures of the cricket for those listening on the radio? Tell me a few tips.
Painting pictures. Using the language, trying to use different words, trying to be relaxed and just call it as you see it. But I think to do commentary reasonably well, you have to have done it for quite some time. So you know how to take your foot out of your mouth, because you do put it in there, and if you don't put it in there, you're not having a go.
Well, it's live radio, isn't it?
That's
so,
it. Yeah.
People are...
Yeah, but it takes a while to develop the confidence to do that. Particularly in my case as a young bloke working with people who had far more experience of cricket and of life than I did, McGilvray and Hassett, people like that. So it was a little bit intimidatory in those days. Not so much now. We're all in the same boat. Up the front in the cab, as Roebuck said.
Well, now you're sharing your expertise in commentary with all the rest of the up-and-coming team, I'm sure.
Well, that's part of what it's about these days, yes. I'm not Methuselah, but I've been given a good run at doing this, and I suppose that is the one thing about cricket commentary, perhaps unlike doing fast-moving sports such as football, rugby league, whatever, that it's a bit easier on the brain, because you don't have to have that rapid-fire identification of what's happening in front of you. You can be a bit more relaxed. There's more time out in cricket than any other sport, if you want to call it time out, time for reflection and taking the audience to other places.